Here to talk about all this is Aline Sanger, Research Assistant for the Heritage Foundation's Center for Health Policy Studies. Allie, can you name for me, off the top of your head, 3 conservative-led cities that are risking bankruptcy?
No, I can't. Not off the top of my head. Nothing like Detroit and Chicago.
No, I can't think of that. New York has its own problems. Mayor Bloomberg is warning that New York City might be next. I mean, Chicago's got its problems. It seems like the more you put progressives in charge of something, the more it costs and the worse it gets.
Sure, and I think that's exactly what you're going to see with Obamacare, because as these 55 to 65-year-olds enter the Obamacare exchanges, costs for the law are just going to skyrocket further than they're already projected to.
Yeah, isn't this just a cheap and easy way out? I mean, you know, these cities have experienced population decline. You know, a lot of people who've made it to the middle class or who were middle class or who were just sick of being bled by city taxes moved outside the city limits. Now this is a way to get their money back by running to the federal government to have the federal government subsidize their local municipal retiree plans. I mean, it sounds like a win-win for the cities.
Sure, it's an obvious choice because they won't be penalized for dropping them. So if they can do it contractually, then why not? I mean, the federal taxpayer will just pick up the dime, just like for the $1 trillion worth of subsidies that they are already expected to pay out for other Americans.
Don't you think it's funny that all of the people that promoted Obamacare don't want to participate in it? I mean, you've got Danny Werfel, the acting commissioner of the IRS, and the National Treasury Employees Union, which also covers the FEC. None of these people want to participate in it. The AFL-CIO, they want out. The Teamsters want out. The Democrat politicians don't want themselves or their staffers participating in it. So, I mean, it just stands to reason that the unions would be upset when they found out, uh-oh, these taxes that we pushed for affect our health plans.
Sure, of course. I mean, everyone wants to keep the health plan that they have, and they're starting to realize that Obama's promise just isn't going to hold. I mean, 7 million Americans are expected to lose their employer-sponsored insurance, so just drop these union plans in there with the rest of Americans. It's how everyone feels right now. No one's excited about this law taking place and taking away their current coverage option.
What is the impact of this tax? Because the rank-and-file union member who just figured out he's either going to pay more into his health care program or is going to be expected to take a lower quality, less expensive health care program. I mean, this was advertised as near to utopia. So what's the impact?
The impact is either going to be reduced compensation for these workers. They're going to hopefully cut back on their health plan so they don't have to pay the tax. If they can do that contractually, who knows? But if they do have to pay the tax, well, then that's the state and local taxpayer coming in to pay for these union employees' excessive health plans. So the taxpayer really loses all around when it comes to Obamacare, be it direct tax hikes or subsidizing the cost of coverage for union workers.
We've been following the state actuaries on the impact Obamacare is going to have on their state insurance plans. I think it's Maine said that their rural voters are going to pay more than whatever cities Maine has, but Maine residents are going to pay more. Virginia's going to pay more. Ohio's going to pay more. Wisconsin's going to pay more. There's a laundry list of states lining up to say that their residents are going to pay more, and Sebelius is saying all these states are lying about it. So who's telling the truth?
Well, the thing about Sebelius's comments about this is that she's got the information for 34 of the states because the federal government is running the exchange in the 34 states. So she's got all the information on plans and premiums. She just needs to release it to us so that we can make equitable comparisons. But she doesn't plan on doing that until sometime in September when open enrollment is supposed to begin on October 1. So people in these states, we only have the information that we're given, and so far it just looks like premium increases.
Now, what about these Obamacare navigators? I mean, this is almost like hiring a bunch of census workers. I mean, these aren't healthcare experts or hospital staffers that know, or HR people that have a working knowledge of these healthcare plans. Who are these people, and what are they going to be doing?
It's going to be people who are in your community already who can teach you about Obamacare's health plans, try to facilitate your enrollment, show you what subsidies you're eligible for. But they're going to be like their little own Obamacare army, right? I mean, the state of California expects that they're going to need like 20 or 25,000 of these, so at a cost of $57 million. So it's going to be a little Obamacare army out there trying to get people to enroll. And the reason the administration is pushing it so hard is because they're scared that young people won't enroll. And that's all based on plenty of surveys that show that people don't like this health care law, and they're not excited to start paying these high premiums come October.
So it's like a cult. It's like a cult. I mean, you have a bunch of people just pushing you to believe something that's not true. It's going to be like joining a cult. I mean, these people are not experienced healthcare workers. They're not HR managers. They're not insurance company employees. They're not actuaries. They're not university health administrators. These are just people who basically are going to get a job, for a temporary job for some money from the federal government, and they're going to go out and sell Obamacare. Well, that's great, Allie. Thank you so much. I'm not saying that's your fault. I'm just finishing the thought. Thank you for joining us